and safety. That is why we provide you the tools you need to make instant, positive, and healthier changes in your life. For a sound mind is a sound body. Health is life. On Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting.
Hello, this is Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM Abuja. Welcome to today's program, an edition of Health is Live. Today we'll be looking at a condition that is very common these days, even though it can lead to serious health complications. My name is Oikeke Kure, and today we'll be talking hepatitis. What is hepatitis? What are the causes and why is it very prevalent now? How do we reduce the risk of having this infection? This is what we'll be looking at today on Health is Live. It's going to be very educative and useful, so please do not go away. I have a medical practitioner with me, and together we'll be looking at these issues. Plus, you can also call us and share your experiences with us, okay? And you can ask your questions in all areas of your concerns, especially as it has to do with hepatitis. So do not go away, relax, and we'll take a short break, a very short break, but we'll be back. I have a medical practitioner with me in the studio today, and his name is Dr. Oikeke. He is of Wesley Clinics, Abuja. He's a general practitioner. Welcome to Human Rights Radio and Health is Live today.
Thank you very much. Okay. And good afternoon to our viewers, our audience.
Thank you very much. So we'll take a short break now, but we'll be back. Don't go away. We'll be talking hepatitis. What are those things putting us at the risk of the infection? How do we reduce that risk? Here on Human Rights Radio, we're very concerned about preventive health. How do we prevent ourselves or reduce the risk of having some of these health issues? So today we're narrowing down to hepatitis, and Dr. Oikeke is right here in the studio to answer your questions and to put in more light on the causes and why we are having these issues very common today. But we'll take a very short break. We'll be back.
At Human Rights Radio, we believe that good health is not just a state of being, it is a way of life. That is why we present Health is Life, a program focused on providing you, our listeners, all the answers and solutions about your wellness and health. We believe that together, our impact is greater in ensuring public health and safety. That is why we provide you the tools you need to make instant, positive, and healthier changes in your life. For a sound mind is a sound body. Health is life. On Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting.
Welcome back. The program is still Health is Life, and you're tuned to the Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. And today, like I said, we're discussing hepatitis, and Dr. Oikeke of Wesley Clinics, Abuja, is here with me in the studio. Doctor, welcome again.
Thank you very much.
We're looking at hepatitis today. What exactly is hepatitis? A lot of people, you hear people these days talking about hepatitis. People say they have hepatitis here and there. What is it about?
Yes, hepatitis, simply put, is inflammation of the liver. The liver is one of the organs in the body that has to do with detoxification of the body. That is, it removes toxins from the body. But when it becomes inflamed, we term it hepatitis.
Right. What are those things that could cause the liver to get inflamed?
Yes, we classify those things as infectious and non-infectious agents. In the infectious agents, we also have bacteria, we have virus, we have fungi, and some parasites. But the non-infective ones are metabolic diseases. Yes, those. Then basically, what we are going to discuss today is viral hepatitis.
Okay.
That is hepatitis that is caused by virus. And here we have 5 classes: hepatitis A, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, hepatitis D, and hepatitis E. These are what we know as viral hepatitis.
I heard people say that the severity of the issues depend on which type of virus is causing the illness. Is it right?
That's quite correct.
So some people say some are more dangerous than the other. Which of those?
Exactly. The more dangerous ones are hepatitis B and hepatitis C. Then hepatitis A follows. These 3 can cause both acute and chronic hepatitis. By acute hepatitis, we mean the inflammation of the liver that has lasted not more than 14 weeks. By chronic hepatitis, we mean inflammation of the liver that has lasted more than 14 days. So the hepatitis A, B, and C, they are capable of causing both acute and chronic hepatitis. But the most dangerous amongst them is hepatitis B and C. And if the 2 could be in one person, it becomes very, very deadly.
We have a feeling that the prevalence rate has increased. I mean, have we been having cases? Because these days, even newborn babies, they have to be checked to ensure that they're not infected. Mm-hmm. Why is it more? Why is the infection on the increase?
Well, it's on the increase because people are not properly educated, and outside of that, in some of our health institutions, they are not routinely investigating people whether they have this hepatitis. And again, those people who are involved in accidents, some of them are transfused. And the blood that is used in those transfusions may not have been properly screened. That is why there's an increase, as well as lack of good hygiene. Because hepatitis A is a fecal-oral disease. What I mean by fecal-oral is that it is passed in the stool. And if somebody eats food contaminated by that virus, that person gets infected. So improper washing of foodstuff has contributed to this increase.
Wow, so that means if we're looking at the preventive measures, there are some basic things that we can do that will reduce our risk of having this infection?
For sure, for sure.
What are those things?
Yes, the basic things we need to do is to wash our foodstuff properly, then avoid unprotected sex. Because some of them, yes. Hepatitis B and C could be transmitted sexually, in as much as they are also transmitted parenterally. By parenterally, I mean through injection or any other sharp object, or through blood transfusion. So if we also get involved in screening people, that could result into a reduction in the prevalence rate, because these people will now be encouraged to avoid transmitting it to other people.
Okay, I'm sure a lot of our listeners would like to call in and find out, especially now that Dr. Mba is in the studio. A lot of people are having these issues, and we hear that if it's treated, it still take a long. The treatment, how long is the treatment?
Yeah,
because we heard people saying they've been on treatment for hepatitis for a very long time.
Yes, it depends on the patient's compliance and the drugs that are used. But basically, if it is treated by a period of 12 weeks, the person should be properly cured.
12 weeks. If it's a viral infection, we heard that viral infections don't have treatment. Is that right?
Not all of them.
Okay.
It's not all of them that do not have treatment.
Okay.
In hepatitis B, for instance, and hepatitis C, there is treatment for them, and we have achieved a cure rate over 90%.
Wow, that's good news to
Yes.
me. All right. So then you can call us. Call me, Dr. Mba is in the studio, 081 089 1011. The number again is 081 89 1011. We're discussing hepatitis today. There's a need for us to reduce the risk of having this kind of infection. It's a liver infection and it's not okay. I have someone who wants to talk to us. Hello. Hello. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, what's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Aminga calling from Abuja.
Okay, you have a question?
Yeah, please, I just want to find out.
Hello, I can hear you very well. Okay, I think the call dropped. But you can still keep the calls coming. 081 89 99 1011. We're looking at hepatitis this afternoon, and Dr. Mba is still in the studio. So we have treatment.
Yes, we do.
Okay. All right.
We do. We have treatment for it. There's although I will not mention the name of the drugs, but like I said before, it takes some weeks. It takes weeks for that person to be treated. But before that person is treated, we have to look at quantitatively the level of the virus in that person.
Okay, hold your thoughts there. Let's have this person talk to us. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Mr. Samuel. I'm calling from Apo.
Okay, all right. You have a question?
Yes.
Okay.
Doctor, I want to ask, what are the symptoms for hepatitis C?
Okay, all right. So keep listening. The symptoms for hepatitis C is what he wants to know. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, doctor. He wants to know the treatment for hepatitis C.
The symptoms for hepatitis generally, which applies also to hepatitis C, are the person feels nauseated, the person could be vomiting, the person becomes weak or what we call fatigued, the person may have pains in the joint, the person may also have fever. The person also will develop jaundice, but this comes later in the course of the illness. The person also may pass dark urine as he passes urine. Then the stool may become pale colored. There may be rashes on the body, and those rashes may itch. So those are basically the early symptoms of hepatitis. But as the sickness progresses, the person may now develop what we call hepatic encephalopathy. Here, the mental status of the person becomes compromised, and the person also may get into liver failure, which may necessitate liver transplant as part of the treatment.
Okay, I hope you are listening, and those are the signs of. But when we talk about diagnosis,
yes.
I'm sure. Okay, someone wants to talk to us. Hello.
Hello, good day.
Good day. How are you doing? What's your name?
My name is Kevin. I'm calling from Maraba.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Sorry, I want to find out from the doctor. I had this hepatitis some years back. Though I was treated, I want to find out, is it necessary that I should go back and be carrying out some screening or whatever?
Okay.
Or is there any drug that one should be taking to prevent the reoccurrence? Yes.
Thank you. He wants to find out. He's been treated, but he wants to find out if he needs to get back and get another test to be sure that the virus is no longer there.
Okay.
Or is he supposed to be on medication still?
Satisfied, free from the virus, then he does not need further medication. But there are conditions that could lead to the infection being resuscitated again in an individual. Such condition is if the person is immunocompromised. Maybe what I mean by that is that the defense mechanism of that person now becomes low. Such person as one who has HIV that has taken over the system, yes, can get hepatitis B reactivated. Then there are some drugs also that if people take, they could become seroconverted. That means the virus now comes alive again and begins to attack them. But what I will...
Does that mean the virus doesn't disappear completely?
It doesn't. It doesn't disappear completely. But the replication, it doesn't replicate again. That's it doesn't multiply again by reason of the drugs that the person had taken. But if the person is immunocompromised, then they could start replicating again.
Okay. Hello. Okay. You can still keep the calls coming. 081 8999 1011.
Yes, but I will advise the young man that called to constantly go to hospital. If it's every 6 months, let them do a quantitative test to find out if the virus is still replicating or not. Okay, yes, that will help him.
Okay, that's very key. So, when you have these signs and symptoms, is it okay to just conclude that you have hepatitis, or what should someone do?
No, the signs and symptoms will not conclude that, because there are other elements that could as well give such signs and symptoms. But what is done is that the person is investigated in the laboratory.
Okay. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's the name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Salah Omashir calling from Washington, United States.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I'm very much interested in your topic.
All right,
concerning
thank you.
This hepatitis. So my regard to your doctor again.
Okay, doctor is hearing.
Yeah, I listened to most of the symptoms, signs and symptoms of hepatitis you made mention of. You know, like most of the patients I've come across, they also have a hepatitis. Those signs and symptoms you made mention of do not even appear in most of the patients I've come across it. The only complaint they have is that probably after the time they discover that they have hepatitis, because when maybe their child goes for childbearing, they require maybe the emission of blood, then when they screen their blood, they now discover that they have hepatitis. And when you ask them, they will tell you that they don't have any signs and symptoms of this disease or this ailment in them. So now, being a virus, at least when you talk of a HIV and AIDS, we know that there are some signs and symptoms that a patient we have. Then when you go for the laboratory test, you find out that you have maybe HIV and AIDS. But most of these signs and symptoms do not appear on some patients before you discover that they have a hepatitis or whatever. So in this case, what can they do for we to know that probably maybe they should create maybe awareness on the maybe having health activities close to the community, whereby regular checkup can make someone to know that you have the hepatitis B, C, or whatever. That's my conclusion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes, the symptoms I mentioned are clinically when the virus has replicated in them. Like he mentioned, yes, not all the people who have hepatitis have symptoms. There is what we call subclinical hepatitis. In this case, the virus has not multiplied enough and the effect has not been pronounced in the body. Such people, what they may just feel is that they feel like they are sickly, not that they will have the other symptoms. So that is what we call subclinical hepatitis. But when they now have the full blown of the sickness, then those symptoms come up.
Okay, so this group of persons can progress to the full
full-blown disease. Yes. What we advise people is, from time to time, you visit your health center, you visit the hospitals, let them screen you whether you have this hepatitis or not. And those who do not have it are vaccinated. We have not mentioned vaccine here as part of preventive measure. When they are vaccinated, they can be protected against the disease.
So vaccination
is key.
Okay, so apart from vaccination and probably oral hygiene, personal hygiene, what are those things again that can pose someone to having this kind of infection?
Yes, I mentioned the sharing of sharp objects, especially needles. Like in drug users, they may share needles, and if somebody has the virus, it can be transmitted to another person. And also, sexual intercourse is part of the process of getting hepatitis B and C. So people should use protective measures. You know, people use condom. In as much as I know that it's not really 100% protective, but it does offer some protection. And the basic thing is for one to know his status, whether the person has it or not. That is very, very important. And once you walk into any clinic, any hospital, and request for screening, they will do that for you.
Okay, so that's very key. People need to know their status the same way people need to know their status about HIV virus.
Yes.
Okay, so you don't need to fall sick before you go and check yourself.
No, you don't.
You need to check yourself regularly. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's the name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Kure.
Okay, all right then.
Yeah, I want to confirm, can someone contact you through saliva, through kissing?
Okay, Doc.
No, somebody cannot contract it through saliva. But in the case of kissing, if there's exchange of blood, you know, some people when they are kissing or when they have ulcer in the mouth, what I mean by ulcer is excoriation in any part of the mouth, and you are kissing such person, there may be blood that you're sucking, and if the virus is there, the person can get it.
So exchange of blood.
Exchange of blood. Even oral sex is a major causative process.
Okay, I hope he's listening. So, how do we have looked at those factors that put us as risk?
Yes.
Okay, so how do we begin to talk about preventive measures?
Yes. The best thing we could do to prevent it is when we know our status. And now also when we know the processes by which they are transmitted or contracted. If one has to take blood, it has to be properly screened. If one has to take any organ of the body, it has to be properly screened. If one has to engage in sex, you have to be protected, use protective measures. Then you don't share sharp objects of any sort, because those are the things that will help in transmitting the infection from one person to another. Then we had mentioned good personal hygiene is key, and then proper washing of our foodstuff is also important.
Okay, the number is 081-8999-1011, and the program is Health is Life. We're looking at hepatitis today. Does the place of diet, does diet have anything to do with this? What you eat, can it help you to reduce the risk of this infection, or the other vice versa?
No,
Does diet have any effect?
No, dieting comes in as part of the treatment. In those patients who have actually gone into a severe form of hepatitis, we could ask them to reduce their level of their salt intake, taking high protein diet, which is white meat, pork, fish, chicken, yes. But otherwise, the dieting has no role to play in preventing measures.
Okay. All right. Keep the calls coming. The number is 081 89 99 1011. Number again 081 89 99 1011. We're looking at hepatitis, different types of hepatitis. What are those things that can bring you to the risk? Okay. Hello.
Hello. This
Hello.
is Mr. Emmanuel from Otako.
Okay, Mr. Emmanuel, please go ahead.
Yes. Please, I want to know if some persons fit from positive to negative after receiving treatment.
Okay.
Please, I want to know if someone will convert from positive to negative after receiving treatment for hepatitis B.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, somebody can convert from negative to positive after receiving treatment if that person develops low immunity. I had mentioned earlier that it may be as a result of an HIV infection or as a result of the drug that the person has taken. That can cause a seroconversion.
Okay, so there's hope for even those who are down with it. If you take your, what are those things that can help you achieve 90 to 95, 98% of cure?
Yes, compliance with your drugs. If the person is religiously taking his or her medication as prescribed by the doctor, that will help the person. And a good attitude to life, because when one gives up, then that person may not survive it. And probably I may say, let's discuss the processes that one could go through from the acute, the chronic, the carrier stage, because in hepatitis B there's what is called the carriers. These people are healthy, but they are the ones transmitting this infection to others.
Okay, can you explain that?
Okay.
They are not sick.
They are not sick,
But they can transfer.
but they have the virus in them. But the level of replication of that virus is low, that they are not having any symptoms. But these people are potential agents of transferring this infection to other people. This is why I say that it's important that people get screened. And when you go for screening, it should be total, not just the rapid test that we do. If it is positive, yes, it needs to be confirmed. And also we do a quantitative test to know the level of the virus in that person. That helps, because at that point you'll be able to counsel that person on what to do to avoid transmitting the infection to others. And by that method, we'll be able to reduce the incidence of hepatitis in the population.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about hepatitis in children.
Yes.
Do we have children coming down with this infection?
Yes, we have hepatitis in children because some of them are transmitted vertically. By that I mean from the mother, right from the womb, through the birth process. The child can be infected, and the symptoms are basically the same. They also have the same treatment.
So
even pregnant women, they could have hepatitis, and when they have hepatitis, they could transmit it to the children.
Okay, we'll take a short break now, but we'll return shortly. Don't go away. Dr. Mba is still in the studio. We're discussing hepatitis. You can call to ask your questions or your doubts. Anything you want to know about hepatitis, he is here. He will let you know. So stay with us, but we'll take a short break now.
As a business owner, you may ask yourself for a reason why to advertise with Human Rights Radio. Well, I'll give you 5. We operate a 24-hour Facebook TV that accommodates all our programs and with over 50,000 views per program. 2. All around the world, millions of people tune into our station live on our Human Rights Radio app, available on Android and iOS. 3. We are employing over 2,000 conversers ready to attend to all your advertising needs. 4. With our very affordable rates, you are guaranteed the best value for your money. 5. We go beyond radio and can be found on all other social media platforms, including Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Periscope, proving that while other stations enjoy listenership, we enjoy followership. So if you're still asking yourself for a reason why to advertise with Human Rights Radio, I believe the right question is, why haven't you already? Welcome to Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting. At Human Rights Radio, we believe that good health is not just a state of being, it is a way of life. That is why we present Health is Life, a program focused on providing you, our listeners, all the answers and solutions about your wellness and health. We believe that together, our impact is greater in ensuring public health and safety. That is why we provide you the tools you need to make instant, positive, and healthier changes in your life. For a sound mind is a sound body. Health is life on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting.
Welcome back. This is still Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, and the program is Health is Life. Today's edition, we're focusing on hepatitis, and I have Dr. Oikeke Oikeke. He is of Wesley Clinics, Abuja. He's a general practitioner. Doctor, does alcohol and tobacco use, does this have a place when you're talking about hepatitis? Do they play any role?
Yes, alcohol could cause hepatitis. And when people take it in excess, because there is a level that one could take alcohol and there won't be any problem. But having it chronically, that's what I mean by taking it over a long period, it could lead to hepatitis and these complications in the life of that person.
Okay, let's talk about liver cirrhosis. It's one of the serious damaging effects of hepatitis. Let's talk about it. At what point does it get to that? Or can we say everybody, anyone that has hepatitis, it could result to cirrhosis of the liver?
No. Not everyone that has hepatitis will progress to cirrhosis. Cirrhosis is one of the complications of hepatitis, chronic hepatitis. And what happens is that it makes the liver to become lumpy, or what we call nodular. And when that happens, it compromises the activities of the liver. And that person actually, when the liver is compromised, the person's health is as well compromised. So liver cirrhosis as a result of hepatitis is a complication. And also alcohol can lead to liver cirrhosis even without resulting in hepatitis. So it's a complication of hepatitis in an adult or a child if left untreated.
Very serious complication indeed.
Yes.
Do we have treatment for liver cirrhosis at that point that the liver becomes cirrhosed?
Yes, we have treatment. What is done is that the person's liver is transplanted, or the person is given a liver transplant. As well as outside of cirrhosis, there's what we call hepatocellular carcinoma, cancer of the liver, that is separate from cirrhosis. And those two can only be remedied by liver transplant.
Okay. All right. So I guess that means we need to ensure and protect ourselves. It's better to prevent this issue than even treating it because I can see some of the complications. But a lot of people think that when you have hepatitis, it's almost like, I mean, you need to be, yes, it's a very bad issue. Is it that bad?
It is really bad, but not that it's a death sentence. Like I said, there are people who have been cured. So if one has it, the earlier it is detected, the better the person comes out of it. The only problem arises usually when the patient presents late. What I mean late is that when the complications have already set in, at that point, it becomes difficult to salvage the life of that person.
Okay. Keep the lines, the phones coming. Call us 081 89 99 1011. Tell us. Ask your questions. What are your doubts about, especially as it has to do with hepatitis? What do you want to find out? Are you treating it? Is there something that you want to know? You want to clarify? You can ask. We have a medical doctor in the house who will answer your questions. Hello. Hello. Okay. You don't flash this number. Just make sure you're calling me, right? And the number is 081 8999 1011. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Daniel. Calling from Abuja.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, please, can I know the symptoms of hepatitis B?
Okay, doctor, he wants to know the symptoms of hepatitis B.
Okay.
Yes, please.
All right.
All right. My dear, if it is a subclinical one, what I mean by that is the one that has not developed fully, the person may not display any symptoms. But when it becomes clinical, the person now starts to feel nauseated, that's feel like vomiting, and some will actually vomit. The person becomes tired easily. Then the person also have pains in the joints. The person may also have rashes and itching all over the body. The person as well may have yellowness of the eyes, what we call jaundice. And the person may pass dark urine, and also the stool may become pale. That is just looking off-white. Those are the early symptoms.
Okay. Thank you very much. I want to ask one more question again.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Is hepatitis B curable?
Yes, it is curable if it is detected early enough. And if it is one that the person has to be treated with drugs, because not all people with hepatitis B are treated with the drugs that kill the virus. If it is such that the person has to be treated with the drugs that kill the virus or make the virus weak, the person has to take it religiously. In that case, 90% of patients treated are cured.
Okay. I want to ask one more question. Sorry, I'm asking you
No, please go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Okay, what about if you are married and you have hepatitis, if for that matter, and you have your children that have been vaccinated? Is there any way they can get infected?
If one is married and the wife is pregnant, if the wife has hepatitis, there's likelihood of transmitting it to the unborn child or in the process of giving birth to that child. But if it is the man and the woman is free, the man is encouraged to be treated properly. And the man at that point that is still infected, what I mean is that he can still transmit the infection to another person. He is advised to use to go through protective sexual intercourse with the wife. Yes, they may need children. There's a process that one has to employ to make sure to protect the womb being infected, and yet the woman will get pregnant.
Okay, but can the child not be, if the child is not infected, can the child not be treated and the child?
No, the child cannot be infected except you are sharing sharp object with your child. I mean, if the person that has it is sharing sharp object with the child, if the person that has it donates blood to the child can have it. But otherwise, the child will not have it.
But I need to understand that even you can contact hepatitis B through sweat.
Through what?
The sweat.
Sweat?
Sweat.
Yes.
No. The virus is not plenty in sweat, so one cannot contract it through sweat or saliva. So you can eat with your children; they will not contract it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
But is there any way I can reach you personally in case I need any other medical advice?
Yes, you can. Maybe after the program, you could call. We'll give you a number.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, and I do hope that you have you've been cleared of some of your doubts about hepatitis. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Sure.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Bye.
Okay, that's he really took. He spent time with you and with us,
Yes.
right? Okay, so but you can still keep the calls coming. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Mr. Emmanuel. I'm calling from Mapo.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yes, I just want to make inquiry because I know that my wife was diagnosed with hepatitis B, but underwent treatment and she fully recovered. So prior to our getting married, we went for a test and it was still within hepatitis B, but we were told that it is at that stage it is dormant and that it cannot be transmitted. We've been married for 5 years now. Is there any possibility that the virus can still be transmitted?
Yes, there's possibility if the virus replicates faster than it was doing before. So what I will advise is that you constantly go to hospital, let them quantify the level of the virus in your wife. That will help because as I mentioned earlier, if there's any condition that has compromised her immunity, that condition could lead to an increase in the replication rate of that virus. So it's important you go to hospital from time to time to quantify the virus in her blood.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Musa. I'm calling from Abuja.
Okay, Musa, go ahead, please.
Hello?
Hello, go ahead, please. We can hear you clearly.
Yes, I want to make a question, ask a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, in respect of the topic you are discussing.
Yeah, we're talking about hepatitis.
Exactly. So I was diagnosed with hepatitis about 11 years ago.
11 years.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly.
About 11 years ago, and I've been going to hospital since then for checkup. But every time I go, I've not been given any job for this 11 years. Hello?
We can hear you very well. Go ahead.
And I'm very healthy. I've never fallen sick for this 11 years that I diagnosed with the hepatitis. And this case, I have done series of tests, these tests, antigen and what, even viral loads. But yes, they have not given me any drug, and they say based on the test I cannot transfer it because it has not entered my liver, according to the test what they said. I'm not sure about that. And so I'm living my life without any complications, and I've not taken any drug, and I'm healthy. I've not experienced anything. So I don't know what
Dr. What do you say about that?
Thank you. Yes, yours is that you have strong immunity. You have developed immunity against that virus. And under such condition, the person lives his normal life. There is no problem. So you cannot be giving drugs at this stage.
Is not sufficient to make this call. Please recharge or send status to 665 to confirm if you're able to blow.
You cannot be giving drugs at this stage because the level of that virus in your blood is low. Drugs are usually given when the level is more than 2,000 units per liter. That is why they do quantification of the viral load in your blood every time you visit the hospital. I encourage you to continue keeping your appointment, and you will remain healthy as long as your immunity is still strong.
Okay, you can still keep the calls coming. Doctor is still in the house. I'm sure there are lots of things that you want cleared off. Your doubts about issues surrounding hepatitis. And the number is 081 89 99 1011. We're looking at hepatitis. What are those things that brings you to having it? It's not a death penalty. It's a condition that could have develop serious health issues, but is treatable and it can be managed. And so that's why we're on this today. Our aim on this station and this program is to ensure that you have good health and to ensure that you keep safe and to ensure that as much as we can, as much as is possible, you reduce the risk of falling ill. That's our aim. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is I'm calling from Mauritius.
Okay, so go ahead.
Yes, my question is after hepatitis B or hepatitis virus infected person, is there any food that you are supposed to be restricted of eating?
Okay, no, there is no restriction on the diet you will take. But if it becomes complicated, there could be restriction in the diet. But at the early stage, there is no restriction to the food you take. You take your normal food that your appetite allows you to take.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for calling. Okay, keep the calls coming. Are there those things that you need to know about hepatitis? The number is 081 89 99 1011. 081 89 1011. I was reading somewhere and somebody said something about obesity. Does it have anything to do with it?
Well, no, obesity has nothing to do with hepatitis, except as it were, obese patients have a lot of comorbidities. What I mean by that is that they have a lot of other ailments that come into them as a result of obesity. And if they are immune compromised, then this hepatitis infection could get into them and cause ill health to them. Otherwise, obesity per se is not a major factor in the process of hepatitis.
Okay.
But I want just to say here that what we have been singing about has been hepatitis B. But hepatitis C...
dangerous?
No. Hepatitis C, as discovered now, is much more dangerous.
Why is that so?
Well, yes. The reason, I suppose, is because people have not been screened for hepatitis C all these years. And by the time they present, they will present with complications. So it is important that if people are being screened for hepatitis B, they should as well be screened for hepatitis C. And in some patients, the two could coexist, and it becomes more dangerous.
Okay.
Yeah, the hepatitis C was originally called non-A, non-B.
What does that mean?
That is non-A, non-B hepatitis. That is, it's neither hepatitis A nor hepatitis B. But now it's been found out that it is actually hepatitis C. And it's dangerous.
It's dangerous. The only way, and I'm sure it presents the same symptoms.
The same symptoms, yes, and the same complications.
Okay, so does that mean all the types of hepatitis seem to present the same signs and symptoms?
Yes, they seem to
does that
do
mean
so.
that when you get to the hospital, they should check you for all those A, B, C, and D?
Yes, why we are not emphasizing on D and E and partially A is because they don't lead to chronicity, and they don't lead to cirrhosis and hepatocellular cancer.
Okay,
A,
are mild
D,
ones.
and A, yes, they are mild ones. Is these ones that cause these other complications that we are focusing on regularly.
Do we have, in our laboratories in the country, do we have facilities to detect these different kinds of viruses?
We should.
No, we should.
We should.
With your experience on the field, do you think we have?
We have.
Okay.
We have, but it is a little bit costly. Because it's expensive. Because the equipment to do those things are costly. And in most of the government hospitals, you don't have those equipment. It's in the private clinics and hospitals that you can have them.
Okay. Hello. Please, could you turn down the volume of the radio before you call me? Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Please, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is John.
Okay, John.
Yes, I'm calling from Kuchiguru.
Okay, go ahead with your question. John, I can hear you on your radio. I can hear myself on your radio. Could you turn down the volume of your radio, please?
I turn it off.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
So the doctor told me that it's not much like that. I should just go. It's normally up or down. Don't know how to do. So it's not much. I should not worry myself. I don't know whether the doctor will help me that.
Okay. Thank you for calling.
Yes, if the viral load in your blood is low, you don't have to worry, you don't have to bother, but you should constantly, from time to time, keep appointment with your doctor so that the test could be repeated, so that when it is getting high, something could be done about it. But that he has told you, you don't have to worry, you really don't have to worry, but you need to keep a check on it.
Okay, Doctor, as we begin to round off now, what would you say to Nigerians and to our listeners, especially as it has to, coming from you, a doctor, as it has to reassure them and keep them safe from the risk of contacting this element?
Yes,
what's the hope for those who have it?
Yes, I first and foremost, I want to tell people that it is real. Hepatitis is real, but it's something we could avoid. And if one has it, there is treatment for it. There is hope for everyone that has it. And the earlier it is detected, the better for us. Yes, but unfortunately, if the infection occurs early in life, the complications are bound to come up. Like if it's in a child, later in life, maybe in the next 20, 35 years, the child will develop the complication of either liver cirrhosis or hepatocellular carcinoma. But if it occurs later in life, like when one is old, maybe from 40, 45 years, the person will not develop the complication as it were. So that is it. We must submit ourselves to regular screening to make sure we don't have it. And if we have it, we follow the doctor's advice.
I'd like to thank you very much, Dr. Mba Oikeke, for coming on this show today. Health is live today. My name is Oikeke Kure, and I'd like to let you know that it is wise to be safe, avoid all those things that could prone you to having this infection, and try as much as possible, just like the doctor said, all the things that can increase your risk of having the infection, avoid them. Okay? So play safe and be safe. I'll see you next time on Monday, same time. Thank you and bye-bye.
Human Rights Station. Anya weki kewo na mole Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, Onyemon, Niger Delta. Hey, Kawure Junu Baburuburu.
101.1 FM Abuja.
Human Rights Radio.
101.1 FM Abuja.
Tinye Radio Gina.
Human Rights Radio Station.
Abuja.
101.1